Welcome. I'm so glad that you are joining us for the Digital Wellness series. This is the first video in a series of 8 videos that are going to talk to you about what is digital balance and how to have a healthy balance in your life. And this is about screen time and devices and social media. It's all things in these 8 videos. But today, we're going to just be talking about what is it and how to have a good balance. So the first thing we need to know is just what is a healthy balance? What does that mean? And because most of you, if not all of you, that are watching this have always had devices and social media in your life, it may seem like you really don't know what is a good balance because you haven't experienced life without it. But just like we need to have balance in everything in our lives because we don't want to eat too much or sleep too much or exercise too much. And all of those things are good things. We just don't want to do too much of them. We also don't want to have too much screen time or too much social media use. Although they're good as well. You know, all of us, I would guess almost every adult enjoys the same thing, and we're all struggling with having a balance. So this isn't just about young people having a balance, but adults need a balance too. So if you are noticing adults in your life that are struggling with balance, maybe you'll be able to share some of these tips and ideas with them. So digital stress is experienced by all people. There isn't anyone probably in the world that isn't experiencing some kind of digital stress. Now, it's different for different ages, and it'll be different. Your digital stress might be different than your friend's digital stress, but everyone is experiencing it. And it can be part of your phone use, your device use. It can be about social media. It can be about gaming, all the things. And so I want you to see what are all the different ways that you can get digital stress, and then you can see how much of it you actually have. So we have a quiz for you to take that will kind of help you see where you might be experiencing digital stress, because some of you might be saying, oh, I don't have any. But I think when you take this quiz, as you read through the different statements, you'll see where maybe, oh, I think I do stress about that, or that's something that kind of gets in my way. So even though later I'm going to tell you that part of digital balance is not using more than one device at a time, but if you are on a computer or an iPad, use your phone to scan this QR code so that you can take the quiz. I would like you to take it before we move forward because it's going to give you some ideas of what you might want to work on as we talk about how to do that. And so I would pause, go to that QR code, pause this video, take the quiz, and then come back. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and took the quiz, but think about what your score was and if you were surprised by that. So the statements that there were 25 statements on the quiz, and then the more stress you have, the higher your number will be up to 25. I think there was mostly just, yes, no questions. And then if you said yes, you had a higher score. And are you surprised by that? And as you were reading the different statements, could you think of things that you do think you want to start working on or maybe doing less of? Those are the things that we're going to talk about how to do that today. So there are 3 things that we can do to deal with digital stress. We can look at time management, we can look at changing habits and attitudes, and we can make time for rest and relaxation. So let's look at time management. What does that mean? So there are paper and digital planners, and I know at my school, we always gave a paper planner that had where you could write your homework, and it had all sorts of ways to plan your time. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, a planner, some kind of calendar, some kind of something where you can say, these are the things I'm going to do today, or these are the things I'm going to do this week. And there are paper ones like you maybe have got for your school before. I don't know if they still do that. But there's also digital planners. Google Calendar is one that a lot of people use, one that I use to plan my time digitally, though I like paper better. And if you were somebody who got a higher 20s up to 25 score on the digital stress, you might want to choose a paper planner, just because if digital media is causing you to have stress because you're using it too much, or maybe even feel like you can't stop using it, then a paper planner might be a better option. Because if you're trying to do less digital, but then you choose a digital planner, then it kind of gets you back on the device again. Also, there are ways to track screen time and to set limits on that. And we're going to talk about that in this video today, about how to do that and where those settings are located, because some people don't know. Maybe you're already using them, which is amazing, but some people don't know. And there's also habit trackers. And again, there are paper or physical habit trackers, and then there are digital habit trackers. We're going to give you a habit tracker today to use. And of course, you can print it out as paper or you can use it digitally. I don't think it actually is fillable, like it's already set up that way, but you could always figure it out how to make that fillable on your computer or on your device. But otherwise, you could just print it off and use it, and we'll look at it and I'll tell you how to use it at that time. One of the ways that I think is fun to have a visual of habits is a pretty inexpensive way. And if you want to, get a little crafty, this could be fun. But you could just buy a clear jar, and I should have brought one here that I could show you in the picture, but you just buy a clear jar at Hobby Lobby so that you can see through it, and it can be just small, but even if it could be something a jar you have at home that you, for any use. And then you put something in it to show every time you do the habit you want to do. So if you decide that you're not going to play video games, or you're only going to play video games for 1 hour instead of 3 hours, when you do it just for 1 hour and then you go do something else, you put something in that jar to show that you are going forward or progressing in your habits. So it could be a marble, it could be a penny, anything that you have a lot of that you can put in there, then you can just put that in and you can see them fill up and you can see your progress in a visual way. But that's what a habit tracker is also. The paper one, you're going to check off things and then you'll be able to see how you're progressing through whatever goals you decide to do. Also, changing habits and attitudes. So when we're on our phones and devices all the time or gaming all the time, we may be interacting with friends during that stuff, but we're not truly present with them because we're distracted by the game or distracted by other things that we're doing on our phone or computer. So when you are in the presence of friends, maybe decide that you're not going to be on your phone for part of the time that you're visiting with them, so you're really present with them. Or maybe when you're spending time with your family, you're going to put your phone away so that you can be really present with your family. And that's changing a habit. If you're usually on a device, choose not to be on a device. Or maybe when you're in school, instead of being on your device during class, you're going to choose not to. Or maybe during the lunchtime. Now, I know some schools only allow phones at lunchtime, and so that might not work in that setting. But if you have access to your phone all day, then maybe at lunch you decide to be really present with your friends and find out, what's going on with them without your phone. Also, not comparing yourself to other people on social media. You have to remember that the stuff that people post for social media is their filtered version of their life. Now, whether they actually use filters to make themselves look cuter is a whole nother thing, but they're only showing you the things that they want you to see that make them look good or make their lives look good. And it's not that it's a lie. Yeah, yes, they did go on that trip, or yes, they do have that outfit, or they are really that cute. But comparing yourself to that is not helpful to you in any way. It's not going to help you to want to be a better person. It's going to make you feel worse, which then will probably cause you to not try to be different or do things differently. So just remember that that's just them showing you their best selves, their highlight reel, as some people say, and is not a true representation of their life. And then also just don't take things personal. I've had clients tell me that somebody posted something and they think it's about them. Oh, they mean me, or I'm the weird person that they're talking about, or whatever. And that might be true, but even if it is true, it doesn't help you to take it personally. That's that person's problem. That's that person's idea about what's going on. Now, if this is a true bullying situation where they are doing things to really hurt you and sabotage you, you need to talk to an adult about that so that you can get some advice about what to do, or they can help you do something about it. But if it's just random posts and you think they're talking about you, think about what else might be going on. What are the other stories you could tell yourself about it besides that it's about you? And if someone is involved in all that kind of drama where they're always wanting to cause problems for other people, or always wanting to treat other people badly, I wouldn't want to be in those groups and in those friend circles. And I'm hoping that you're going to choose not to either, because those are not true friends. People who really like you are not going to cause problems for you or fight with you online in front of everyone. So stay out of all of that. Block people who are doing things like that, and also get help from adults if you need it. And then prioritizing rest and relaxation. I think this is the most forgotten about part for young people that I know. They want to be gaming all night long. They want to be watching YouTube all night long and not getting rest, and then going to work or going to school, or both, and just kind of going around like a zombie. Your brain cannot work well if you are having so much screen time, device time, social media that you don't have time to rest. Also, this is the one screen at a time thing that I was talking about, though I'm going to ask you to do a couple things, as I already did, where you use a different screen. But try to think about how many screens you're using at a time. Like, most of us are probably watching TV or movies and are on our phone at the same time. Maybe remove the phone. Like, if you're watching a movie, be present in the movie and watch it. If you're watching a TV show, if you're with your family doing something, maybe you don't use your phone during that time so that you can be present in what you're trying to do. Or I have so many people that tell me that they have to listen to music when they're doing their homework, or even at school, their schoolwork. I know that I've never been able to change anyone's mind, but I promise you that multitasking, listening to something and trying to learn something or create something such as homework never works. And if there's any time that you make a goal for this during this video, I hope if you're doing that, that you try not to do that, because you're going to do so much better on your homework if you're just concentrating on the homework. I can't even listen to music that has words and read a book, or listen to music that has words and do a project, because my mind goes to the words and I'm thinking about the words and I'm kind of involved in the song in my head, and I can't pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. So please be really careful about that one for sure. Also, take a break. And during this time of creating this video, as I was coming up with ideas for the slides, one of the things I came across was called a phone stack. And a group of friends, when they got together to eat out or hang out together, they would put their phones away for a while in a pile, whether it was in a basket or on a different table or whatever, so that they could just be present with each other. And I know some families may do that too, where everyone puts their phone away during the meal. And I think that's a great idea because we all need to have breaks. And you can set those breaks up for yourself. You can have those breaks, with your friends and say, we're going to have this break. And then if everyone's following it, no one's going to feel left out because no one's using their phone at that time. And then turn off notifications. You can do this in settings in your phone, and we're going to talk about how to go into your settings and figure this out. But you can go in and say you don't want to be notified either by certain apps or all of the apps. Now, I'm not telling you to turn off every notification all the time, but you may want to turn them off at certain times, like while you're at school. Maybe there's certain apps that you just don't really care about the updates or the notifications, so you could get rid of some of them. And also, when you're doing homework or you're in school, you should have the sound and the vibration turned off so that you're not notified if someone is sending you a text or someone is posting something, because you don't need to know about it during class time because you need to be paying attention to what's going on in class. So here is a way, I'm going to make sure that my picture's not over that QR code because that will mess it up. I want you to be able to monitor your screen time. So I have two QR codes there. One is for Android and one is for iPhone. And so whichever kind of phone you have, go ahead and go to that QR code and just bookmark those directions. Or if you already know all of the stuff that's listed there, that's amazing. I'm glad. And maybe your parents helped you with settings, or maybe you decided on your own that you wanted to monitor your screen time or reduce your screen time. But those are the settings on each of those kind of phones that you can use to be able to monitor and track and reduce your screen time. Also, tablets and laptops have these same settings, so just look in your settings tab for those devices as well. So part of what we're going to be doing today is realizing how much you do use social media and then make a plan for how to figure out how to reduce it and think about what things you want to reduce. So when we took the quiz, that was hopefully gave you some ideas of things that you could change or do differently. But we're also going to give you a habit tracker to help you with that, with tracking how you are using it and then how you will use it. So again, a QR code to go to a habit tracker, and you can go to that now, or just, when I'm going to show you what it looks like and talk you through it, and then you can always go back to it later when you're ready to actually do it. But we're going to actually have you fill out the tracker for 3 days with no changes. So even if you game for 20 hours of a 24-hour day, put that down. Write down that that's how much you use it, because the first 3 days is just for you to become aware of how much you use it, because you probably aren't aware of how much you're doing things. So the first 3 days is just for you to see where am I at in all of this. And then it will also help you to see, like, the ones that have the most time on them, then those are the things that you'll probably want to reduce, or look at how much you use it, or how can you plan it differently in your day so it's not taking away from things that you want to do. And so then you're going to decide what you want to reduce. And then for 4 days, you're going to track how you reduced it, or what that would look like. So I'm going to show you the habit tracker. And the habit tracker has 10 categories. So the first one is entertainment. This is videos, TV, video games. All of that is entertainment. And so I think I would just write like how many hours you did these different things. And sometimes it's not even hours, maybe it's minutes. Now, probably not this one, but some of the other ones may just be minutes, or, a short period of time. Also, organizing things like texts to your parents about your plans, or text to your friends like pick me up at 5, or I'm in seat 11, or I got us a table in the back corner, whatever it is, just to organize something that you're going to do together. And then communication is kind of the same thing, but like talking to people in texting or messaging about different things, communicating with your parents or your friends. And then there's job or school, teachers or your boss. So sometimes you have to text your boss or email your boss and say, I can't work on this week, or sorry, I can't come in today, whatever. Maybe with school and teachers, it's like, I had a bad night, I didn't get this homework done. Or, hey, I wasn't there today. What are the things I'm supposed to be doing today? Then keeping in touch with those who are away, meaning in other states or in other countries. Checking up on what others are doing, and that's your celebrity influencers also. So, checking their, what are they wearing today? What are they doing? Who had a baby? Who graduated? Whatever. And then posting or browsing pics. Again, the browsing is kind of like the checking up on, but there's also times when you're posting videos and you're posting pictures. Getting news or weather. Now, a lot of you probably aren't doing that, but that is something that people use their devices for, is to get breaking news, or what's the weather going to be like today so I know how to dress, or, is it going to rain when we have our party or whatever. Background music. So I know a lot of you do that. And then online learning. So some of you might be only in online school, and so a lot of your hours are going to be spent online learning. But some of you maybe only have certain things to do for school that are online learning, or maybe you're choosing to do your own online learning. I had some clients that take free or paid classes from other colleges. And so, you're have your own regular school day work, but then you're doing some supplement stuff on the outside. And then there's an area for notes and goals. So after you do an entire week of paying attention, just being aware for 3 days of what you do, and then 4 days of changing something and reducing some of those hours, I want you to really think about what is different about your life. Like, let's look at relationships. So I'm sure your parent relationship will get better, because if they're on to you all the time about, put your phone away, or you can't watch that this shows this many hours, or you can't game in all hours, or whatever. When you cut some of those things out, they're going to be happier, and they're not probably going to be bothering you so much about using your device or screen time. You're going to connect with more people. You'll probably get along better in school with, or meeting new people, or just having a better relationship with your friends you already have, because you're actually present with them. You might choose to do new activities. Maybe you're going to get outside more. Now, outside isn't my favorite thing either, but if I'm not watching Netflix or whatever, I can get outside and see what's going on in the world, and like take in the nature sounds, and just looking around at, get some sunshine. That's always important. Maybe you'll take up a new hobby. Maybe there's some things you've thought about, but you just really haven't put the time in for that. So if you're not using social media as much, you can add a new hobby or learn something different, or actually get back to things that you used to like to do. Before social media and computers and phones, I loved reading paper books, physical books. I still love books. I do listen to audiobooks more often because it is easier, but I still like to read physical books. So if I'm not on my phone as much, I can read a book. So maybe you'll get back to something you already liked to do. And then I'm guessing that your grades and job performance are going to get better. If you're not gaming all night long, you're going to be less tired, which is then going to help your brain to learn more. If you if at your job you were on your phone a lot and you were getting in trouble maybe, or maybe just not doing a good job at your job because you're on your phone, now you'll be doing better in your job and you'll be getting better grades and you'll be more rested. And so all of those things are good. And then your mood is going to get better because, again, if you're rested, your mood is better. If you're not comparing yourself to all the people and getting in drama triangles and all the things that happen when you're on social media, you're going to feel better. And maybe you'll start realizing that some of that wasn't as important as you thought it was. And I'm actually going to show you a video where kids did take a 7-day fast from social media and all the things that they gained from that, which is beautiful. So I want to show that to you, and then hopefully that will help you see what you might want to work on this week.
Have you ever wondered how connected you are?
For 2 weeks, we kept track of our media use.
What we were doing and why.
Keeping Snapchat streaks.
Looking for memes.
Listening to music.
Doing homework.
Organizing our lives.
Watching Netflix.
Then we took a media fast for 7 full days and kept track again.
We let ourselves do some things.
Like texting our parents to pick us up.
Watch movies with our families.
Listening to music as long as you didn't have headphones on.
And doing our homework.
But other than that, we stopped everything.
Before the fast, I thought it was going to be a disaster.
Super boring.
Annoying, and it was, but I got used to it, eventually.
I didn't find it as hard as I thought it would be. I found it was more open-minded.
The first day I was wondering about my shows, but then I sort of forgot, and it was okay. I actually didn't really miss it much.
Once you try, it's not actually that bad. During the fast, I found the day just really stretched out and I did more stuff.
I hung out with friends in person, did homework well before deadlines, listened to music with friends and family.
I thought deep thoughts. I ended my Snapchat streaks, and some of them were with people I didn't even know.
I read a lot, ate cookies, and went downtown.
I talked to my mom more during car rides.
I was surprised by how much thinking I did.
I lost a lot of my Snapchat streaks. I always thought I'd feel sorry, like I had some connection to them or something. But a lot of the people I didn't even know in person, and I Snapchatted them for over 100 days. Like, no offense, that was kind of a waste of my time. I don't think we realize how much we do use technology. We just think that it's part of our routine, so we don't think about what we're doing. And then when we weren't using technology for a week, I realized how much I did use technology, even though I didn't think I did.
I realized how much time I actually had left when I didn't use social media. During the fast, it was easier for me to fall asleep because there's no distractions. I think technology does affect how you think and how you socialize with people. If you use technology way too much, you'll have no social skills. I absolutely don't need this to survive, but I would still rather have it. But since the fast, I've been using technology differently. I don't even spend as much time on Snapchat anymore.
I'm toning it down a bit, and I haven't been caring about it as much.
So when I'm bored, I'm like, okay, I should go outside. And then I go outside and I actually have fun. Social media can suck you in. Some people won't talk to each other face to face. They won't spend time with the family. They won't go outside. They won't do stuff or experience stuff. This experiment helped me to see that I don't actually need as much social media.
You can live without it, and there's nothing stopping you from doing that except for you. There are lots of challenges on social media.
Yeah, so we challenge. Stop altogether.
For just 7 days.
Disconnect and see what happens.
Can you do it?
So what do you think? What would you like to change about your social media usage? And what do you think would be different if you didn't use it as much? So again, we're not telling you how to do this, what to do, and you don't have to change anything. But I really think that most of us could look at how we're doing things and do things differently. I know I can and I will. And I'm hoping that you will challenge yourself to make some changes and decide differently about how you want to use social media and have a balance in it. And again, we're not asking you to truly be rid of it for 7 full days. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to do that either. But pick some times in the day where you're not going to do it, or just reduce some of the things that you're doing and see what happens. So I'm so excited that you're going to have a more balanced life. And I look forward to seeing you in video number 2. Have a good day.